The ice planet had no official name yet. On human maps, it was only a number and a warning symbol. The sky stayed white even during daylight, and the wind never truly stopped. Snow did not fall gently here. It struck like sand, sharp and endless. Lieutenant Aaron Hale stood outside the temporary research outpost, his visor half fogged, his breath loud inside his helmet. He was human, born on a warm world with blue oceans, but duty had placed him here, on a frozen edge of explored space. His task was simple on paper: protect the science team and keep the peace if anything unexpected appeared. Something unexpected always appeared. The storm had started 6 hours early. Magnetic interference screamed through the sensors. Power readings dropped fast. One by one, external heaters failed, their lights blinking out like dying stars. The outpost was not meant to handle this kind of cold, not for long. Aaron checked his wrist display again. One thermal shelter still worked. Only one. "Control, this is Hale," he said into his comm. Storm intensity rising, power loss at 40%. Static answered him. Then nothing, he frowned. That was bad, very bad. He turned to head back inside when his motion scanner flickered. A weak signal, not human, not machine. He paused. Protocol said to report and retreat. Protocol also said not to approach unknown life forms alone. Aaron swore quietly and moved forward. The signal led him to a shallow ice ravine not far from the outpost. Snow had drifted over broken equipment, an old alien survey rig, half crushed by falling ice. Beneath it something moved. He knelt, brushing snow away with gloved hands. Blue skin appeared, then a thin arm. The figure beneath the wreckage gasped weakly. She was alien, clearly so. Her body was small, slender, built for warmth, not this place. Crystalline markings ran along her neck and shoulders, glowing faintly and then dimming again. Her eyes opened, wide and dark, filled with fear. She saw him. Her breath hitched. She tried to pull away, but the movement drained what little strength she had left. "No," she whispered in a broken translator tone. "Human," Aaron froze. He slowly raised both hands, palms open. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said calmly. "You're trapped, I can help." She did not believe him. Everything in her posture screamed terror. Her species, he did not know its name, had stories about humans. Stories passed through trade routes and war rumors. Humans were said to be relentless, predators in soft skin. The cold cut deeper. The storm howled louder. Aaron lifted the broken rig with effort, muscles screaming as he shifted the weight. Ice cracked, but he managed to free her. She collapsed against the snow, shaking violently. She was freezing to death. He checked her vitals with a portable scanner. The readings were alarming. Her core temperature was far below survivable levels for her biology. "We need to get you somewhere warm," he said. Her eyes flicked past him, toward the outpost barely visible through the storm. "One shelter," she whispered. "Only one left, I know." Aaron stiffened. "How do you, my people, map this place?" she said weakly. "Long before you came." She tried to push herself up and failed. Panic rose in her eyes again. "That shelter, it has a stabilizing heat core," she continued. "It cannot hold warmth with one body alone. It will fail." Aaron understood before she finished speaking. She swallowed. "If I stay alone, I die. If you leave me, I die." He did not respond right away. Sharing a confined shelter with an unknown alien was a direct violation of several safety rules: biological risks, cultural risks, political risks, but none of that mattered if she froze in the next hour. "Okay," he said. "We'll go together." She stared at him, confused. "Just like that?" "Yes." He lifted her carefully, adjusting his suit to shield her from the wind. She was light, too light. Her body trembled against him, cold radiating through even his insulated armor. They reached the shelter minutes later. Aaron sealed the hatch behind them. The wind vanished, replaced by a deep, heavy silence. The shelter was small, bare metal walls. A single heat core pulsing dim orange. One narrow sleeping platform designed for emergencies. The temperature inside rose slowly. too slowly. The alien woman leaned against the wall, sliding down until she sat on the floor. Her breathing was shallow. "It will not be enough," she said. "Not unless—" "I know," Aaron said quietly. He removed his helmet, setting it aside. Cold air bit his skin. He knelt beside her, hesitating only a moment before removing parts of his outer armor. She watched him with wide eyes. "You are not afraid?" she asked. "I am," he said honestly. "But fear doesn't get to choose right now." He guided her onto the sleeping platform and sat beside her. The shelter's system beeped softly as it detected 2 heat signatures and adjusted output. The air warmed further but not fully. She shivered harder. "You must come closer," she said. Her voice was strained, embarrassed but firm. "Or the core will not stabilize." Aaron nodded. He lay down beside her, careful, slow, giving her time. She stiffened when his arm touched her side, but the shaking eased almost immediately. Warmth spread between them. Minutes passed, then more. Her breathing steadied. The glow along her markings brightened slightly. She spoke again, quieter now. "My name is Seelin." "Aaron," he replied. She hesitated. "My people say humans eat what they cannot understand." He almost laughed, then stopped when he saw her face. She was serious. "Not true," he said gently. "We try to understand first." Silence followed, not uncomfortable, just heavy. The storm battered the shelter walls. The temperature outside dropped even further. Aaron felt pain blooming along his ribs. He had taken a hit earlier from falling debris, but he had ignored it. Now, with the adrenaline gone, it returned with interest. Seelin noticed his sharp inhale. "You are injured," she said. "I'll manage." "You lie badly," he smiled faintly. "I've been told." She shifted, carefully placing her hand against his chest. Her skin was warm now, almost hot compared to before. "You are losing heat," she said. "Why did you not say so?" "Because you needed it more." Her eyes searched his face, confused. "That makes no sense." "It does to us." Another silence. This one felt different. "You could have left me," she said softly. "Your laws would have protected you." "Maybe," he said. "But I wouldn't." Her breathing slowed further. Exhaustion crept in. Her eyelids fluttered. "Seelin," he said, "stay awake." "I am trying," she murmured. She shifted closer without being asked, instinctively seeking warmth. Her head rested against his shoulder. He stayed very still, letting her do what she needed. Outside, the storm showed no sign of ending. Inside, 2 strangers shared breath, heat, and an unspoken understanding. For the first time in her life, Seelin felt safe beside a human. For the first time in hours, Aaron allowed himself to believe they might survive the night. Neither of them knew that this single choice, made in cold and silence, would echo far beyond this frozen planet. But the cold did not care about the future. It only tested who was willing to endure it. Part 2. 1600 words Kaleko, or interesting Hunachea, or third-person style, Ma Lekni Ha, or simple basic English Ka, or violated free Hona Chai. Without short heading, the storm did not end when the light cycle changed. There was no sunrise to mark time, only a slow shift in the color of the sky beyond the shelter's narrow sensor slit. White turned to pale gray. The wind screamed without pause, like the planet itself was angry at anything that dared to live on it. Inside the shelter, the heat core hummed softly. It was stable now, but barely. Aaron woke first. Pain spread through his side like fire under the skin. He kept his breathing slow, careful not to disturb the alien woman resting against him. Seelin slept deeply, her body pressed close, her crystalline markings glowing faint blue in the dim light. Her temperature readings on the shelter panel had improved, but they were still not ideal. He had made the right choice. He knew that. Still, his body paid the price. He shifted slightly and Seelin stirred. Her eyes opened, sharp and alert in a way that surprised him. For someone so weak hours ago, she woke like a trained survivor. "You are awake," she said. "So are you," Aaron replied quietly. She looked down and realized how close they were. A flicker of embarrassment crossed her face, followed quickly by relief. She did not move away. The core is still holding, she said after checking the panel. Good, Aaron nodded. How do you feel? Alive, she answered honestly. That was uncertain before. She pushed herself up a little, then froze when Aaron hissed through his teeth. You are hurt worse than you admit, she said. It's fine. It is not. She reached toward his side. He stopped her gently. Seelan, it's okay, I've had worse. You humans always say that, she said. Then you collapse later. He raised an eyebrow. You've met many humans. No, she replied, but I study patterns. She carefully placed her hand near his ribs without pressing. Her markings pulsed brighter as she focused. Aaron felt a strange warmth spreading, different from the shelter heat. You are bleeding internally, she said, slowly. That sounds bad. It is manageable, she replied. If you rest, he sighed, we'll both rest then. They sat in silence for a while. The storm continued its assault. Ice struck the shelter walls like thrown stones. Seelan spoke again. Why did you truly help me? He looked at her. Because you needed help. That is not an answer, she said. Many species do not act that way. He thought for a moment. Humans are stubborn. When we see someone suffering, we don't like turning away, even if it costs us. She considered that. That makes you dangerous. Yeah, he said with a faint smile. I've heard. Her expression softened, then grew troubled. My people will come. Aaron stiffened. Come. Yes, they were tracking my signal before the storm. They will assume you captured me. That's not great, he said. They will not listen easily, she added, especially if they believe a human has cornered one of their own. Aaron leaned back against the wall. Pain flared again. Then we need to talk to them first. She shook her head. The storm blocks long-range communication. When it clears, they will already be close. He closed his eyes briefly. Plans formed and broke apart just as quickly. We'll figure it out, he said. We always do. She studied him. You say that like it is a rule of your species. More like a habit. Hours passed slowly. The shelter's food supplies were limited. Aaron gave Seelan the nutrient packs first, ignoring her protests. She accepted them eventually, though not without watching him carefully. When he tried to stand, his leg buckled. Seelan caught him before he fell, surprisingly strong despite her slim frame. You rest, she said firmly. Now. He didn't argue. As he lay back down, exhaustion pulled at him hard. The storm outside began to weaken just slightly. The sensors flickered as interference dropped. Seelan looked at the console and froze. There, she whispered. Aaron forced himself up enough to see. Multiple signals appeared on the edge of the scanner range. Large ones, ships. They're early, she said. Fear crept into her voice. Too early. Aaron reached for the comm panel. Static, but less than before. Outpost control, he tried. This is Hale, come in. Nothing. He switched frequencies, hands steady despite the pain. This is Lieutenant Aaron Hale of the Terran Expeditionary Force, he said, broadcasting openly. If any ships can hear this, know that the alien civilian with me is under my protection. She was injured and the signal cut. Seelan's shoulders sagged. They are jamming it. Then we talk face to face, Aaron said. You will die, she said quietly. Maybe, he replied, but you won't. She stared at him, stunned. Why are you so willing to trade your life? He met her gaze. Because that's what makes us human. The shelter shook as a shadow passed overhead. The first ship entered low orbit. Seelan closed her eyes. They will demand you surrender. They may execute you. Then you'll speak for me, he said. They will not believe me. Then I'll give them something they can't ignore. What? He slowly stood, leaning against the wall. Trust. Moments later, the storm broke just enough for the hatch sensors to clear. External lights swept over the shelter. A voice boomed through the air, amplified and cold. Human inside the structure, it said in Seelan's language. Release our kin and step away. Seelan moved to the hatch, her hands shaking. Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder. I'll go first, he said. No, she said sharply. You will not face them alone. Before he could respond, she opened the hatch. Cold rushed in. Snow swirled around their feet. Above them, alien soldiers stood armed, their armor sharp and imposing. Behind them loomed the ship, massive and silent. Seelan stepped forward. "I was not captured," she said loudly. "I was saved." Murmurs rippled through the soldiers. "He shielded me from the storm," she continued. "He gave me heat when I had none. He broke his own laws to keep me alive." The commander stepped closer. "Humans deceive." "Then why is he bleeding?" she demanded. "Why does he stand injured while I live?" All eyes turned to Aaron. He removed his helmet slowly and dropped it into the snow. "I am unarmed," he said. "I will not resist." Gasps followed. To expose oneself like that in this cold was madness. Seelan turned to him in shock. "Aaron, stop. If my life proves my intent," he said, voice steady, "then take it, but leave her." The commander hesitated. The wind howled again, weaker now, like it was listening. For the first time, the alien soldiers did not advance. And Seelan realized something terrifying and powerful. Humans were not fearless. They were brave anyway. Part 3. 1600 words ka leko, or interesting hunachea, or third-person style, ma lekni ha, or simple basic English ka, or violated free hona chai without short heading. The silence that followed felt heavier than the storm. The alien soldiers stood frozen, weapons raised but unmoving. Snow drifted around them, settling on armor and shoulders. Aaron stood exposed to the cold, breath visible, face pale but calm. Blood loss and freezing air worked together against him, but he refused to kneel. Seelan stepped in front of him without thinking. "Enough," she said, her voice sharp and clear. "If you wish to judge him, you will judge me as well." The commander's eyes narrowed. "You place yourself above your people." "I place truth above fear," she answered. The commander raised a hand. The soldiers slowly lowered their weapons, though tension remained thick in the air. "Bring them aboard," the commander said at last. "Both of them." Seelan turned to Aaron. "You will survive this," she said firmly, as if ordering reality itself. He managed a weak smile. "I was hoping you'd say that." They were escorted onto the alien ship. The interior was warm, almost painfully so after the cold. Aaron stumbled as soon as the hatch sealed. Seelan caught him, calling for medical assistance. Alien medics arrived quickly. They hesitated when they saw Aaron, unsure whether to treat him or restrain him. "Treat him," Seelan said. "Now." Her authority surprised even herself. Aaron was placed on a medical platform. As the medics worked, Seelan stood nearby, arms folded, watching every movement. When they stabilized him, color slowly returned to his face, though he remained unconscious. The commander observed quietly. "You defend him strongly," the commander said. "He earned it," Seelan replied. "Humans are unpredictable," the commander said. "That makes them a threat." "No," she said. "That makes them different." The commander said nothing more. Aaron woke hours later in a bright medical chamber. Strange instruments hovered around him, humming softly. He tried to sit up and failed. "Don't," Seelan said gently. He turned his head toward her voice. Relief washed over his face. "Still alive," he murmured. "Unfortunately for your enemies," she said. He smiled weakly. "Did it work?" "Yes," she answered, "for now." He studied her expression. "You stood up to them." "I had to," she said. "If I stayed silent, everything you did would mean nothing." Footsteps approached. The commander entered the chamber with 2 guards. "Human," the commander said. "You will answer questions." Aaron nodded. "That's fair." The commander circled the platform slowly. "You violated your own protocols. You risked contamination. You endangered your mission." "Yes," Aaron said, "to save a life." "You could have left her," the commander said. "No one would have blamed you." "But she would be dead," Aaron replied. The commander stopped. "Why does one life matter so much to you?" Aaron met the alien's gaze. "Because once you decide a life doesn't matter, it becomes easier to decide the next one doesn't either." Silence followed. Seelan felt something shift in the room. "You claim humans are not conquerors," the commander said. "Yet your species expands faster than any other." "We explore," Aaron said. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we fight, but we don't erase people just because they're different. The commander considered this. Another officer entered, whispering urgently. The commander's expression darkened. "Your outpost," the commander said. "Our scans show it is damaged but intact. Your people will arrive soon." Aaron frowned. "Then we should contact them." "No," the commander said. "Not yet." Seelan stiffened. "You cannot detain him." "He is not detained," the commander said. "He is evaluated." Aaron exhaled slowly. "That sounds worse." The commander's eyes flicked toward Seelan. "You vouch for him?" "Yes," she said without hesitation. "If he betrays that trust," the commander said, "the consequences will be severe." Aaron nodded. "Understood." Days passed. Aaron recovered slowly under alien care. He was allowed limited movement, always watched. Seelan visited often. They spoke about small things at first, her homeworld, his training, the strange habits of their species. Trust grew quietly. One day, Seelan brought news. "My people are divided," she said. "Some believe you are a hero, others believe you are a trap." "That's progress," Aaron said. "Usually we're just the trap." She smiled, then grew serious. "There is a council hearing. They will decide how humans are treated from this moment forward." Aaron sat up straighter. "No pressure." "You will speak," she said. "To the council." He raised an eyebrow. "That's ambitious." "You already spoke with your actions," she said. "Words are just confirmation." The hearing chamber was vast. Leaders from multiple alien factions filled the space. Aaron stood alone at the center, unarmed. Seelan stood beside the council, her presence symbolic. "Human," one elder said. "Why should we trust your kind?" Aaron took a breath. "You shouldn't." "Not blindly, trust should be earned." Murmurs followed. "We are not perfect," he continued. "We make mistakes, we fight, we fear. But when we see someone in danger, we don't ask what they are. We ask how to help." An elder leaned forward. "And if helping costs you everything?" Aaron didn't hesitate. "Then we decide whether we can live with the cost of walking away." The chamber fell quiet. Seelan spoke next. "This human did not save me because I was important. He saved me because I was there." The elders exchanged looks. At last the commander stepped forward. "Humans are dangerous," the commander said, "but not because they seek domination." All eyes turned. "They are dangerous because they endure," the commander continued. "They endure cold, pain, fear, and still choose compassion." The ruling came shortly after. Aaron was released. A limited alliance was proposed, observation instead of war. As Aaron prepared to leave, Seelan met him at the hangar. "You could return home," she said. "Forget all this." He looked at her. "You could too." She hesitated, then smiled. "I think I want to see more of your people." He laughed softly. "Careful, we're stubborn." "I know," she said. "That's why I'm not afraid anymore." As the ship lifted off, Seelan looked out at the stars. The galaxy had not changed yet, but it had begun to understand something important. Humans were not heroes because they were strong. They were heroes because they chose to be, again and again, even when the universe tried to freeze that choice away. Part 4. 1600 words ka leko, or interesting hunachea, or third-person style, ma lekni ha, or simple basic English ka, or violated free hona chai. Without short heading, the human ship arrived 3 days later. It came slowly, carefully, weapons powered down, signals open. It did not threaten, it asked. Aaron watched from the observation deck of the alien vessel as the familiar shape entered shared space. His chest felt tight, not from injury this time, but from something heavier. Relief, worry, responsibility. Seelan stood beside him. "Your people are cautious," she said. "We've learned the hard way," Aaron replied. "Caution keeps you alive long enough to learn." The council allowed a controlled meeting. One human ship, one alien ship, neutral space between them. Aaron was chosen to represent humanity. He did not feel ready, but he stepped forward anyway. The docking chamber was silent when he entered. Human officers stood on one side, alien leaders on the other. Weapons stayed holstered, but tension filled the air like static. Captain Myra Chen stepped forward from the human side. Her eyes widened when she saw him. "Hail," she said. "You look terrible," he smiled. "You should see the weather." She glanced at the aliens, then back at him. "Report." He took a breath and told them everything. The storm. The shelter, Sealan, the choice. No hero words, no dramatic pauses, just truth. When he finished, silence followed. Captain Chen turned to the alien council. "Lieutenant Hale acted without orders. If there is blame, it falls on us as well. Humanity accepts responsibility." Sealan stepped forward. "This human saved my life," she said clearly. "Not to gain power, not to manipulate, simply because he could not watch me die." One of the alien elders studied her. "And you trust him?" "Yes." "Enough to stand beside his species?" "Yes." That answer echoed through the chamber. Negotiations lasted hours. Voices rose, accusations surfaced. Old fears were dragged into the open. Stories of human wars, alien betrayals, worlds lost. Aaron listened more than he spoke. When he did speak, it was simple. "We are not asking you to trust us forever," he said, "only to give us the chance to prove who we are." At last, a decision was reached. No war, no occupation, a trial alliance, shared research, shared borders, shared responsibility. When it was over, Aaron felt something inside him loosen. Not victory, relief. Later, alone in the quiet corridor, Sealan stopped walking. "This changes everything," she said. "It changes the beginning," Aaron replied. "The rest still has to be earned." She looked at him. "You will be remembered." He shook his head. "I don't want to be remembered. I want this to work." They returned to the ice planet together. The outpost was damaged but standing. Human and alien teams worked side by side to repair it. The storm had left scars on the landscape, but also clarity. Sealan watched humans work in the cold. They complained, they laughed, they helped each other without being asked. "They are not what we were told," she said quietly. Aaron glanced at her. "We rarely are." Days turned into weeks. The outpost became a symbol, not of conquest but cooperation, a place where fear had failed. Sealan received an offer from her people: return home, honor, status. She did not accept immediately. One evening she found Aaron standing outside, staring at the horizon where ice met sky. "You could leave," she said. "No one would blame you." He shrugged. "Someone has to keep this place running." "That is not what I meant," she said. "You could leave this responsibility." He thought for a moment. "Maybe, but then who makes sure the next stranger doesn't freeze alone?" She smiled softly. "I have made my choice," she said. He turned. "Yeah, I will stay," she said. "Not because I owe you, but because I believe in what you do." He nodded. "Then you'll fit right in." The galaxy noticed. Stories spread. Not exaggerated ones, honest ones. About a human who chose cold over safety. About an alien who chose truth over fear. About a moment where war paused because one life mattered. Some dismissed it as weakness. Others recognized it as something far more dangerous: hope. Years later, students would study the ice planet incident. They would debate strategies and outcomes. They would analyze politics and power. But the truth was simpler. When the universe tested humanity with cold, it did not ask for strength. It asked who they would hold close when warmth was scarce. And humanity answered, not with fire, not with force, but with endurance, compassion, and the stubborn refusal to let anyone face the dark alone.